Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Carmen Maxwell, and I'm coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio. And we're just so glad that you're taking the time to join us tonight. And maybe you're watching the replay if you weren't able to join us live. Either way, we just hope that when you hear the stories tonight that you'll be inspired and encouraged to just keep putting one foot in front of the other when it comes to your own health. I learned about Juice Plus 14 years ago when my daughter was just a year old. And she was just one of those kids that was constantly sick at the pediatrician's office. And I was a frustrated mama looking for solutions. And my sister, of course, knew all of this. So when she learned about these whole food concentrates, I was the first person that she told. And I will be forever grateful that she did. So there are three things that really caught my attention about Juice Plus. First was the fact that it has a food label, just like a jar of peanut butter or a bag of frozen broccoli. It had that same nutrition facts label. And I totally understood that we need to eat real food. So that made sense to me. Then when I learned that all of the products are third-party certified and guaranteed to be pure, that spoke to me as a mom, because I knew that supplements aren't regulated. And I'd read the articles about how so many are contaminated with things like lead and heavy metals. And then lastly, when I learned about the body of research, I was just blown away. Today, in 2019, there are 38 gold standard research studies showing exactly what Juice Plus does in the body on a cellular level. So for me, I was really just interested in the immune system. I just wanted my daughter to be sick less often, but the research shows so much more than that. And I don't have time to go into that right now because I want you to really, all of us, to get straight to being able to listen to our stories. So just a note to say that we worked really hard to condense our stories into 2 minutes each. And that was a very difficult job because I know so many of these ladies have just tons of just incredible information that they want to share with you. So we're going to be going fast, and we're going to be doing our very best to respect your time and to stay on track. But if you do have questions, or if you want to know more about any of the stories, if you're on the Facebook page, just please feel free to ask questions in the comments or leave a comment. And that's, without further ado, I am happy to introduce my friend April to share her story. April, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, thank you so much, Carmen. Well, I learned about Juice Plus, wow, gosh, can't believe this, 14 years ago. My son was 1 and he was really struggling. He wasn't making eye contact. He was a super picky eater. And one day I came in the living room and I saw him just kind of hitting his head against the wall. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is autism. And so I'm one of those people. I Googled and found a premier specialist who had her degree in her MD, her naturopathic degree, and her degree in physical chemistry. So with 3 doctorates, I flew him to see her in Baton Rouge. Never been there before, but I was on a mission to find solutions for him. And, you know, she was incredible, really dove into, you know, who he was and what would fit for our lifestyle. But she was so passionate about Juice Plus because there was actual research and she had seen amazing results in her practice. So she had 3 doctorates. I just did it because she told me to, honestly. But I, within a couple of months, was so passionate about it myself because he started making eye contact. And then he started reaching for foods that he never would have touched before. Like he ate a whole tomato and I about fell on the floor because in months prior, that would have weirded him out even to touch because of the seeds and the consistency. So when he was, you know, eating that whole tomato and reaching for more, I was like, something is really shifting. And I'm so excited to report that today he is a very high functioning, amazing teenager. He's in regular school. He's got friends. He just went on his first homecoming dance with a date, you know, all these things. And I really do wonder what it would be like if we hadn't learned about Juice Plus when we did as an early intervention. And I'm so grateful. And I will really quickly tell you that I started alongside as well. And I got to see things like, you know, no more migraines and my skin clearing up. And today in my 40s, I feel better than I ever did in my 20s. So that's just a little bit about my story, but I wanted to really highlight my son because that's why we started this journey. And I'm going to now introduce my dear friend, Isa. Are you on, Isa?
Okay, can
Yay.
you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Take it away, dear.
All right, thank you so much, April. I am very honored to be on this call tonight to share my story, and I hope it inspires someone. So I learned about Juice Plus about 4 years ago, but my story actually began a decade ago when I started developing skin issues that I thought was a normal part of aging. So if you had asked me then if I was healthy, I would definitely have said yes. I was a kid who loved my veggies. I was a vegetarian in my teenage years. I was into sports and fitness. In my 20s, I would work out 2 to 3 hours a day. I was fit, therefore, I thought I was healthy. And looking back now, I was not as healthy as I thought I was. I had a terrible habit of drinking the not so good for you energy drinks because I was just constantly tired. I wasn't eating enough fruit and veggies like I should have. Based on the information I've learned now, I should have been eating 16 to 18 servings because I was so much into fitness and sports. I was just exercising a lot. So it's no wonder that I was developing skin issues because my body was just super inflamed. So in my late 20s, I started becoming sensitive to makeup I was wearing. Progressively became worse. Then my whole body would be itchy. My whole body was itchy. My face was on fire. I was just super uncomfortable in my own skin. I was miserable, and it definitely affected my confidence, okay? Because I just felt yucky. Then I got pregnant, and of course my views changed. I really wanted to be healthy, and I wanted to raise a healthy child. And just a little bit more backstory around this time. One of my sisters was diagnosed with cancer, two of them with autoimmune issues, and my father survived a heart attack. So my family was experiencing all these health issues, and here I was experiencing my own. And I was scared, you guys. I was literally scared. And I knew I had to change something. I knew I wanted to be around my son and the people I love for as long as I could be. And so I did some research, and it all led me to eating more fruits and vegetable. And around this time, so my son was about a year old, and I was introduced to a certified nutritionist, and she suggested taking Juice Plus. And I'm a natural skeptic, but the science made sense. So I said, okay, why not? I'm just gonna take this leap of faith. It's just fruits and vegetables. And you guys, I am so, so grateful that I took that leap of faith because now I have so much energy. I'm training for I'm still doing all the things that I love to do, and I'm almost 40. I probably shouldn't have said that, but okay. I have so much more energy. My skin issues pretty much have gone away. My face does not feel on fire anymore. My son, who is now 4.5, he's been taking Juice Plus every day since he was 1, and that gives me so much peace of mind. He's super healthy. He eats very well, and he rarely gets sick. And Juice Plus has just been a wonderful blessing. So thank you so much for hearing my story, and I want to introduce my friend Jasmine and her wonderful story. Jasmine, are you on?
Yes, I am. Thanks, Isa.
You're welcome.
Okay, so about 4 years ago, I found myself covered from head to toe in excruciating blistering rashes, and I had no idea what was causing them. I went to a wide variety of specialists, both medical, holistic, the whole gamut, and no one could give me a direct answer about the cause. I was alone, and I had to figure it out for myself. So I chose to go on an incredibly restrictive diet in an attempt to heal myself from the inside out. And at this point, I was at an all-time low. I felt helpless. I was incredibly anxious. I was depressed, and I lived in constant fear of when my next flare-up would be. So I realized that I was not getting adequate nutrition because of this route that I was taking, but I didn't dare take any supplements knowing that they contained isolated nutrients, additives, preservatives, you name it. And I knew that those things would make my symptoms worse. So thank goodness, one of my dear friends told me about a simple way that I could get whole food nutrition into my body. And instantly, my heart and soul and every fiber of my being just craved it, and I didn't know why. So I looked at the ingredients, and I saw that they were pure and that they were free from all the things I was trying to avoid. It was literally just fruits and vegetables. So for the first time in several years, I felt hope. And 2 years after taking Juice Plus, I am free of rashes. I don't have to be embarrassed to go out in public. I feel nourished, and I have the peace of mind that I was afraid would never be possible for me. So I am incredibly indebted to this dear friend of mine. And I will never be caught dead without my my little fruits and veggies. I will not ever go a day without it, nor will I allow my family to do it either. So I want to introduce my dear friend Jen, and you get to hear her great story.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to get to share my story with you. I actually learned about Juice Plus 8 years ago. I can't believe how fast time flies. And it was 8 years ago. I had just returned back to work part-time. I was a mom of 3 little ones. They were second grade, first grade, and preschool. So the idea of balanced nutrition and 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day was not a priority because I was swimming. I was just basically trying to make things work. And so a typical meal for my family was popcorn shrimp, a can of green beans. I did get that, and box of mac and cheese. And I thought I was doing pretty good. So here I am. I'm introduced to this simple way to add more nutrition to my family's diet, Juice Plus, through chewables, capsules, and these superfood smoothies. And I was definitely on board with it because even after I was educated with, hey, you should be serving your kids 10 servings fruits and vegetables, I still knew that my lifestyle and just everything, that I probably was not going to change that. I maybe tried to do better, but so adding Juice Plus to our diet was a no-brainer. So we added it, and I didn't have any expectations or intentions of really changing much. But what was amazing is once we added it, my perception, my perspective, everything on nutrition started to change. We were filling our bodies with these fruits and vegetables, then we were feeling like more energy, and nobody was getting sick. And if we were getting over things so quickly that I bought into fruits and vegetables are powerful. I mean, I got it. And so my grocery cart, what was in it started changing. No longer were we doing boxed mac and cheese. I was, making kale chips instead. We were trying vegetables and fruits we'd never had before. I was just learning so much. Through the community, I learned how to read labels, things to avoid. Just the education that the Juice Plus community has brought to my life has changed how I feed my children. And then thus that's changed their DNA and what they're going to pass on to their kids. So it really, what started as just a no-brainer, let's add fruits and vegetables to our diet, has now just changed the whole trajectory of our lives in the direction that we're going. And going back to what someone had said about being 40 and feeling better, yes, I'm getting ready to turn 41, and I feel absolutely amazing, so much better than I ever felt. And I've just returned back to work full time, working with young children. So I'm around, and they love to hold my hand, and they love to do all that. I have not had so much as a sniffle. So this has been huge to my immune system, has been subjected to a lot of things that it hasn't had in a while, because now I'm back full time. Nothing. I feel amazing. And I attribute a lot of that to our good nutrition and Juice Plus. So I want to go ahead and introduce Evie.
Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Evie, and I am live in Tampa, Florida. I learned about Juice Plus from my doctor about 10 years ago, and I knew I wasn't eating enough fruits and vegetables. And I asked him what I should be taking to bridge the gap. He suggested Juice Plus, and I took it because I trusted him, but it wasn't until 5 or so years ago that I really understood the power behind these plant concentrates. I'm a pretty serious OCR athlete, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's obstacle course racing. The races that I run are very physically taxing and require a lot of strength and stamina. So in order to perform well, you really have to train hard, and I do. I'm working out at an intense level 7 days a week, from long distance running, speed work to strength, and for times from 60 to 120 minutes daily. And here is where the magic of Juice Plus comes in. My energy level is crazy. I wake up at 4:45 a.m. most mornings to work out, then go to a full-time job, and I have a family, and sometimes I come home to work out again. I don't need any caffeine to get me through the day. The plant powder and shakes get me all the energy that I need. They also are so important to my recovery. I rarely feel sore even after the most intense workouts. A few months ago, I ran a 6-hour race. It was a trail race, and I fueled my body during the race with the Juice Plus gummies. Even after running for that extended period of time, and running 28 miles, I still felt great the next day. I've competed in 2 World OCR Championships, 2 North American Championships, and over 20 Savage races. I know that fueling my body with all these plants every day goes such a long way to my success. If you want to know more about how to fuel your body for athletic performance, I highly recommend the Game Changer movie on Netflix. Plants are so important, and the more we get in and the better everything gets with our health. And now I'd like to introduce Angela, and she is going to share her story of hope.
Hi everyone, my name is Angela Habel, and I'm a registered dietitian from Cincinnati, Ohio. My story starts about 35 years ago when I was diagnosed at the age of 15 with Crohn's disease. I was immediately hospitalized, and after a week on antibiotics to calm down an abscess, I had about 2/3 of my colon removed. And I struggled for the next 13 years with different medications that all had side effects. I was at my wit's end. I mean, all I ever wanted was to be a mom, and I couldn't see myself being healthy enough to carry a pregnancy or even to adopt. So as a last resort, at the age of 28, I had the rest of my colon removed, and now I have a permanent ileostomy. Today I have 3 amazing miracle kids, but it took 7 pregnancies to get there. Juice Plus came into our lives about 12 years ago as a way to keep my constantly sick, super picky eater son healthy. Even as a dietitian, I didn't really understand what Juice Plus was at first, but they were working for Ben, so I just kept giving them to him. And then about 5 years ago, my oldest daughter was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis at the age of 15, the same age I was when I was diagnosed. I instinctively started giving her Juice Plus, but I still didn't get that Juice Plus was whole food nutrition. It wasn't until a year ago that I finally started connecting the dots. I watched a video by another dietitian, and the light bulbs just started going off. I started to understand that the reason why my daughter hadn't had a flare the last 4 years was because of these concentrated plant powders. Once I understood that, I knew my whole family needed to be taking these, including myself. I also shared with my mom, who was diagnosed with Crohn's 20 years ago. I'm so excited to report that my mom started flooding her body with these plant powders about 6 months ago. And last Thursday, for the first time ever since her diagnosis, her colonoscopy revealed absolutely no active disease. They could see old scar tissue, but absolutely no inflammation. When I look at what Juice Plus has done for my daughter and for my mom, I wish Juice Plus would have been around in the 80s. Because of my ostomy, I'm unable to eat a lot of roughage, and that's always really been concerning to me. But since I started Juice Plus in March, I have felt healthier and more energetic than I have in my entire life. And most importantly, I finally feel hopeful for the future of those with IBD. So that's my story, and now I want to introduce my friend Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. Thank you. So my story started about 4.5 years ago. From the time I was about 13 all the way into my early 20s, I was experiencing daily chronic neck and head pain. There really wasn't ever a day that went by that I didn't experience headaches and neck aches, and I was fatigued all the time. And, you know, as silly as it sounds, I just kind of thought like, this is the norm. Everyone deals with aches and pains. And this was just something I had to deal with for the rest of my life because I wasn't going to be able to get a new neck, you know? So when a good friend of mine introduced Juice Plus to me, like I said, almost 5 years ago, the light bulb just kind of went off. And for the first time ever, I really started to realize that fruits and vegetables weren't just good for me, but they could also heal my body. They could heal the inflammation that was going on in my body. And so even though I was, you know, a little bit skeptical about how this could help my neck, I thought, you know what, it's food, it's fruits and vegetables. I need it regardless. I thought I was doing pretty good eating 5 servings a day. And then I found out you need 9 to 13. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try it. And within a couple months, not only was my neck pain going away, my headaches were going away, I had so much more energy, and just so many other simple, you know, changes that I started to make really started adding up. And I honestly never thought I could say that I could go, you know, days without neck pain. And here I was going days without neck pain. And now I'm, you know, so happy to say I'm 4+ years chronic pain free. I have flare-ups every now and then, but it's nothing compared to what I used to live with daily. And since then, my husband has really gotten better about eating his fruits and vegetables too. And I have 2 babies that have been Juice Plus babies since the beginning. And my son really didn't get sick until he was about 18 months old. And my daughter is 4 months old, and she's, you know, had little sniffles here and there, but they're both healthy, happy, thriving babies. And this has just changed our life. Like I said, I never thought I'd be able to say that I could go without being in pain every day. And it's just amazing what the power of food can do for your body. So with that, I want to turn this over to my friend, Katie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie. So my journey started in my early 20s, around the time that I was graduating from college. What I thought was just an active and busy lifestyle was actually putting my body into a state of adrenal fatigue. And unfortunately, by the time that I had realized this, it was kind of too late. So I was struggling with a multitude of health issues that I needed to find a way to heal. And I was always a believer in whole food nutrition as a way to heal the body. So I already ate pretty healthy, but I really started ramping up how I was eating. I was eating tons of fruits and vegetables every day, and was even juicing on a regular basis for almost a year. And I saw 9 different doctors and specialists during that time. And I took some tiny little steps in my healing, but still had very low quality of life and many different health issues that I was struggling with. And that is about the time that I heard about Juice Plus. So I started taking the trio, I started drinking the shakes, and I was just absolutely amazed how my health issues just started melting away one by one. It didn't happen instantaneously, but as the weeks went by, I just watched as my hormone issues went away, my digestive issues went away, joint issues, chronic fatigue, and the list goes on and on. I just watched my body heal itself. So I was finally living with quality of life again and enjoying life again. And I'm happy to say that now today I'm even healthier than I ever was prior to going through all of my health issues. I have a rock solid immune system and just tons of energy every day. So with that, I want to introduce my friend Jennifer Little.
Sorry, guys. It muted me back after I unmuted it. Can everybody hear me? Okay. All right. So I've kind of been taking Juice Plus a little less than everybody. It's been almost a year, but I already have a pretty amazing outcome of that. And I found Juice Plus at a time where I was very low energy all the time due to a multitude of autoimmune diseases, such as like PCOS and Hashimoto's and celiac. I even, I had to remove gluten from my diet for the celiac disease, and that did help improve a lot of the symptoms I was having from being tired all the time, multiple migraines and things like that. But even with like doing that and adding in exercising and changing diets, it's still, there was something missing. So I heard a story from my friend, and she told me how adding Juice Plus to her in her family's diets just changed them for the better. You know, they went from being non-picky or picky eaters to non-picky eaters. So after hearing that a couple times, I said, what can it hurt? I was kind of skeptical at first because I was like, this got to be too good to be true. I mean, how can you just take a couple capsules a day and get all the vegetables and fruits you need, plus some? So finally I just said, you know what, it can't hurt. Fruits and vegetables don't hurt people. So I took them, and while I started taking them, I saw a video that was talking about fertility and Juice Plus. And at the time, me and my husband had been trying for about 6 years or so to conceive, and we had gotten nowhere. Our next step would have been fertility treatments. And if you've ever researched those or heard of, they have a lot of painful side effects, unwanted side effects. I mean, aside from getting pregnant, but the video had talked about how instead of just taking 2 of each capsule, to take 3 of each capsule, and it kind of had some of the same side effects that maybe like Clomid or something like that would for some women. So I said, sure, let's just add some more. You know, it cannot hurt. It's fruits and vegetables. So I did that, and I wasn't exactly tracking it, but about 2 months later, we found out that we are expecting our first baby, and I'm about 32 and a half weeks along with that baby. And I'm just so happy that I'm having less symptoms from the, you know, adrenal fatigue and things like that. I mean, obviously right now I'm super tired, but I'm growing a human being, so that's expected. But I'm just glad that she already has this amazing nutrition coming from me into her now, and that she'll get to grow up having this amazing nutrition from me and her dad, and she'll just have 2 happy and healthy parents. And I'm just so glad that I get to share that with her growing up, because it wasn't with me when I was growing up. So just hoping she has a better start at life. But with that, I would also like to introduce my friend Shannon and her story.
Thank you, Jennifer. I love that. I wish I had known about this when my boys were babies or when I was pregnant. I found out when it was 3 years ago. My oldest son was 7 at the time, and he was the kid during baseball season whose eyes would swell shut from allergies. He was on 4 prescription allergy medications. So all of my baseball photos have this kid just looking miserable. But I was at a Christmas party, and a friend came up to me and said, you know, there's plants in a capsule. And I thought, like, what is this, like the Jetsons? So I was really skeptical, but she was really sweet, and I thought, I'll give it a try for a little bit. And I did, and within 4 months, my son dropped 4 prescription allergy medications, and I still was not sold. I thought, this is a coincidence. Within 7.5 months, my tonsil stones were starting to shrink and disappear. And it was really embarrassing, you guys. Like, I would have to get up on the bathroom sink with a flashlight in one hand and a Q-tip in the other hand, and I would have to purge them out of my throat. If I didn't, my throat and my ears would hurt. And I was miserable, and it was embarrassing. Within a year, someone actually said, have you tried eating fruits and vegetables again? Because I had given them up. I was told I couldn't have them anymore because of my diverticulosis. I wasn't allowed to have anything with a seed, which pretty much eliminated every fresh fruit and vegetable possible, from strawberries all the way to green beans. So I gave it a shot, and I am so excited. I have been in remission for almost 2 years. I am eating everything I was told I would never be able to eat again. And if I had eaten those things back then, I would be in the fetal position, curled up with shivers, chills, sweats, wanting to go to the hospital. I can say that within 3.5 years, my husband and I have not had one single sinus infection, and we used to get them each twice a year during major seasonal changes. I can also tell you that one of the most amazing things to me is that I recently came off of Zoloft. I was that mom who was rushing. I had to get my kids from the car line. I was coming from work. I had to do this. I couldn't stop thinking about all the lists of things I needed to do. And I don't have to take it anymore for anxiety. I don't get heart flutters. I don't have those thoughts that I used to have, like, oh my gosh, what next, what next, what next? Now I'm just kind of rolling along at the light, and I am good to go. The other thing that's been amazing is I have had one sick visit in 3.5 years. And it has saved us a ton of money, not only on copays and prescriptions, but my kids are eating fruits and vegetables that they did not eat before. So that woman that I met at the Christmas party actually changed my life, because I am like watching my kids grow and eat things I never thought they would eat. And we are not going to the doctor cycling sick visit after sick visit and passing things around. So with that being said, I am so excited to introduce to you Mel and let her share her amazing story with you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mo, and I'm an RN of 26 years. Autoimmune disease is what happens when the body mistakes itself as a foreign invader and attacks itself in a particular body system. Mine are fibromyalgia, trigeminal neuralgia, asthma, allergies, chronic fatigue, and Crohn's disease. I spent over 6 years using traditional medical protocols trying to control my Crohn's. I slept 16 to 22 hours a day, had 15 to 20 bathroom runs a day, nausea, vomiting, bloating, cramping, pain, nighttime vomiting with aspiration, couldn't get nutrition into my body. My hair was falling out in handfuls in the shower, and I was hospitalized 12 times in 6 years. When my copay for my immunosuppressant medication went up to $750 a month on Medicare, knowing I couldn't afford that, I decided to try to get nutrition into my body in a unique way that it would accept it. As a single mom, I really was just trying to stay alive long enough to graduate my middle and youngest children from high school. I was really surprised when my hair started growing back in. I had decreased bathroom runs and normal bowel movements. My nausea and vomiting, bloating, cramping, and pain almost disappeared. My nighttime vomiting stopped. I can now eat as much produce as I want, and I'm energized on 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I haven't been to an ER or hospital in almost 4 years. My labs, including my inflammatory markers, are all normal. My EGD and colonoscopy show normal tissue, and my biopsies are negative for active disease. I was diagnosed in remission after 7 years of active disease while off 26 daily pills, 2 inhalers, and a handful of as-needed medications. And I've maintained that for the last 4 years. My body was really in need of quality nutrition. The best part of all of this, I graduated my son in 2015 and my youngest daughter in May of this year, and I've been on a journey all around the eastern United States since June 2nd of this year. I never could have done that with as sick as I was. I give all the glory to God and his pharmacy, FARMACY. I'd like to turn this over back to Carmen. Thanks for attending.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I am so inspired by hearing all of your stories. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to those. We hope that you're leaving here just inspired to take that next step, to put that next foot in front of the other, to keep going with your own personal health issues. And you know, if you feel inspired to share this video with somebody, please do that. Everybody who shared on this call would not know about Juice Plus had somebody not cared enough to share it with them. So we hope that you are walking away again feeling encouraged, and we just appreciate your time. If you do have any questions about anything that was covered tonight, please get back to the person who invited you. And with that, have an awesome night.